say you wanna be free, you gotta lay it on the line, 'cause whatever will be, will be. Got a lovely bunch of coconuts, all stacked in a pile, but I worry what'll happen one day when those nuts go out of style. Will I be dead in the water? Will I be swimming upstream? Or will I faithfully come down from that ladder if that's not where I belong? I heard a wise woman say, you wanna be free, you gotta lay it on the line, 'cause whatever will be, will be. We've all got voices in our heads, screaming out our name, saying that what we are doing is not what we're supposed to be. But I hold to my convictions, I still seek out the truth. I know that what I am doing is exactly what I'm supposed to do. So my advice, my friends, wanna be free, you gotta lay it on the line, 'cause whatever will be, will be. My advice, my friends, wanna be free, you gotta lay it on the line, 'cause whatever will be, will be. Will be, will be. Will be, will be. Will be, will be.
Brothers and sisters, welcome to Alchemist Theatre, where we know that energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it must be transformed. Now, historically, an alchemist was a metaphysician who transformed base metals into gold. As modern-day alchemists, we are here to transform fear into love. Tonight's special guest is Mr. Tyler Stafford. That song you just heard was a Tyler original. The next two are Tyler originals as well. You can get his album in the lobby on your way out. Tonight's theme is liberation. And if you are not seeking freedom, you will not like this show. Now, the thing at Alchemist Theatre is we don't care what higher power you worship, what you call it, what name you give it, whether you call it a he, a she, or an it, or maybe you don't do the whole higher power thing. Maybe you're just here seeking a better version of yourself. It's all good. All we ask is that you surrender to the liberation trying to come through your heart right now. And whatever higher power or higher thing you are seeking, that you open your heart to having a direct experience of that in this room. Amen? Amen. All right now I invite you to uncross your body, take things off of your lap. All of the best revolutions and liberations start with intention setting, prayer, and meditation. So I invite you to sit back, relax, and listen to this song.
We can run away, stay gone forever, or we can drive on out through to the morning light. You can tell your friends, but as long as we're together, there could be nothing to take me from your side. I wanna see you dancing and singing in the rain, letting all your true feelings rise to the surface again. There's not enough time between now and forever to get lost in each other and really let it sink in. But we can begin, and it starts right here within. Well, every breath we take gets us a little bit closer to where we're headed, and still nobody knows for sure what happens in the end. And I am there to meet the maker. Will I forget who I was and have to find you all over again? I wanna see you dancing and singing in the rain, letting all your true feelings rise to the surface again. There's not enough time between now and forever to get lost in each other and really let it sink in. We can begin, starts right here within, starts right here within.
If you haven't already done so, please close your eyes. This is the part of the show where we set the intention for the growth and the healing that we know that you are seeking. Brothers and sisters, close your eyes and take a before picture. It's a snapshot in your mind's eye that is an exact replica of the state of being that you are in right now. Brothers and sisters, is there a question on your heart that you've been seeking an answer to? Direction on a path that you've been needing to be shown? A miracle that you've been hoping to manifest in your life? Are you in disease and you seek healing? Are you in pain and you seek liberation? Or is everything just so perfect in your life right now that all you are here to do is express gratitude? Take just a few moments, a few breaths, and take that picture. Brothers and sisters, I want you to take that snapshot in your mind's eye and envision it becoming a little ball of light. Now take that little ball of light and bring it down to the center of the heart, the workshop of the alchemist, and allow these words to speak over your heart. And we bless your before picture. We say, Father, Mother, God, higher self. We know there is only one force in this universe, and this force is good. And this force is God. And this force is self. And we know that self and God are the same. Self and God are redundant. And because we exist in this now moment at the Center for Spiritual Living, May 17th, 2017, we declare that we are one with this ever unfolding, beautiful, creative force. We know from this infinite space of knowing with every cell in our body that the healing that we seek is ours by divine right. The signs we need to see are shown to us, and we are awake enough to recognize them when we see them. Maybe it's a license plate, a bumper sticker, maybe you turn on the radio at just the right time, but the answers that your soul is seeking are shown to you every minute of every day, and we release the barriers now that keep us from seeing them. The pain that we are seeking to be liberated from comes to us miraculously, and we let it in with every breath. We we are so thankful that these laws exist and that in this lifetime we were blessed enough to know these laws, blessed enough to find ourselves in this room right now, blessed enough to know that it is not by accident that you are hearing these words. Brothers and sisters, you shall inherit the kingdom of heaven just because you exist. The kingdom of heaven and earth are the same. We are in it right now. And because there is nothing left to pray for everything we have ever sought is already ours, we can take this prayer in the utmost divine gratitude to the top of these beautiful sierras, and we let it go forever to the wind, and so it is. Amen.
Running around in circles and it doesn't feel right, but holding your hands high above your shoulders is no way to fight. And you can walk until your shoes are broken and your feet are so raw you wanna cry. Take a good look at yourself though if you wanna know the reasons why. Cause I know the weight of running around in circles and it's just not right, but holding your hands high above your shoulders is no way to fight. And you can walk until your shoes are broken and your feet are so raw you wanna die. Take a good look at yourself though if you wanna know the reasons why. I see you dancing and singing in the rain, letting all your true feelings rise and surface again. There's not enough time between now and forever to get lost in each other and really let it sink in. But we can begin. Starts right here within. Starts right here within. Starts right here within. Right here within.
Dear Diary, life is so good. I've created a popular comedy show in Reno, grown it with my friends for over 8 years, and people love it when we make them laugh. We're good at what we do, and success equals worth. I've never been popular or well-liked before, so it feels pretty damn good. Deep down, though, I'm afraid. Afraid I've attached my identity to these things and used them to fill me up. And I need to be filled up because I hate feeling empty. When things don't go the way that I want them to go, I get frustrated and angry. Experts say this may be a sign of dependence. I'm beginning to feel trapped. Dear Diary, it's been a rough few months. In March, my friends sat me down to tell me that they didn't want to play with me anymore. I felt like I was dying. I was reminded of a time when I was 13, And all my friends told me they didn't want to be friends with me anymore. Flashbacks of loneliness and embarrassment rushed in like a tsunami after an unpredicted earthquake. My fear was that I was not worthy. My fear was that I am not talented enough to have friends or to create art. My fear was that no one loved me. But my biggest fear of all was that I was destined to repeat this painful lesson for the rest of my life unless I could heal the fear that caused the lesson, that caused the pain, that perpetuated the prison sentence. Are you there, God? It's me, Jess, and I am begging you for liberation. Dear diary, I am a prisoner. I am enslaved to myself. I am enslaved to other people and my dependence on them for love. I'm enslaved to all of my old wounds, the ones I am destined to keep repeating until I heal them and the karma that created them. I'm enslaved to my old patterns, to the behaviors, moods, and judgment of other people. And I'm enslaved to my own self-victimhood, which is caused by the expectations I have of how life should be and how other people should treat me. I am enslaved, held captive behind this prison wall of pain, shame, and fear, and still I am seeking liberation. Dear diary, the hardest thing about being a spiritual pilgrim is the illusion you've made progress when you haven't. I've spent the last few months working with life coaches and shaman life coaches and oracle cards, and you get the idea. Striving so hard for something that cannot be strived for. The second you try to attain liberation, you've already lost, says Alan Watts, famous Zen master. You think you have healed a wound until something happens, a circumstance outside of your control, and you realize your wound hasn't healed because you're not done picking at it yet. Dear diary, a few days ago I heard through a stranger who didn't know that I didn't know that my friends are starting a new show without me. And like that, I was back inside my prison of expectations, neediness, and worthlessness. What scared me the most was that I wanted to be a victim to the situation. I didn't even know if the rumor was true, and yet I cut open my wound like a crazed surgeon hunting for a piece of infected gauze he accidentally left in during the last operation. Who is to blame for my pain when it is I who created it? I knew it was time to break this damn cycle, so instead of fighting it, I let myself go there. In shamanism, I am learning that the most powerful way to heal a wound is to heal it as it is happening in real time. To allow yourself to surrender to the pain that's being put on you in that moment, recognizing that this was your choice. And so I felt the thing that I had been avoiding feeling for 31 years. I felt it. And I let myself feel worthless, controlling, and unwanted. And I heard the sentence, "You are not being chosen." And I felt it. And I felt it. I was crying and heaving, and I just kept feeling it. And with every breath, I felt more and more unwanted. It felt like I was falling down a well. So I let myself fall until I hit the bottom. I was alone. But I was fine. My fear had killed me, but I wasn't dead. I looked at the bricks on the wall at the bottom of the well, and on them were written my flaws of character, and I realized that I am imperfect. And I was okay with it. I sat at the bottom of my well and felt unwanted and empty. The miracle emerging was that I was beginning to enjoy the emptiness. And so I continued to sit at the bottom of my well until I felt well again. Dear diary, today I began to feel liberated. Alan Watts says you don't swim by grasping onto the water. If you do that, you'll drown. Instead, you relax and you just float. And so I floated. Once I started floating, my head faced up and I could finally see the light shining in from the top of the well. I knew there was a way out, but I was at peace at the bottom of my well, which was strange because I expected that the bottom would kill me. I prayed out loud, asking why I was learning such a painful lesson over and over again. Why are we trapped in these same cycles of learning? In the silence, I heard a voice. It echoed in the walls of my heart. Or was it the walls of the well? And it said, I want you to make a list of all of the reasons you think I am putting you through this lesson. So I reached in my pocket and I found a piece of lead. And I began to write on the bricks of the well. I am learning this for compassion. I am not the only one to suffer from the wound of not being chosen, of being ignored and disregarded. Now I know I am not the only one. I am being set free. God has a different plan for me. And so I am being liberated to focus my work in another place. I am simply being redirected. 3, my worth and value does not come from being wanted, and I will not find liberation as long as I am still needing to be wanted by others. 4, fear of missing out. My fear of missing out, or FOMO as they say, causes me to attach to projects as a form of distraction so that I can draw value from their success and their accolades. 5, I cannot control how others act or what they want. In fact, I can't control anything outside of myself. And 6, liberation will only be found when I am no longer a slave to my circumstances, but rather a master of them. Dear diary, today I prayed to be liberated from my desire for liberation. Then in the silence of my well, I heard the words of Lao Tzu, that 10,000 things rise and fall, while the self watches their return. That mantra brings me so much peace every time I hear it. I want to be the self, merely observing the rise and fall of things and not attaching myself to them. There is so much freedom to be found when my external circumstances don't need to be a certain way in order for me to be okay. I want to be okay. Because I have seen the bottom of my well, I can accept my own imperfections and the imperfection of others, and now I am free of expectation. Without expectation, the world is free to rise and fall, and I am free of my tsunamis. Dear diary, because I survived the fall, I see now that my worth does not come from being wanted, being chosen, or achieving greatness. I can see why, especially in this lifetime and this culture, I needed this lesson. I've been to the bottom of my well, and still I felt the love emanating from somewhere. It must have been coming from within. It makes me wonder, diary, is liberation about finding the barriers that keep us from love, as they say? It is about knocking down the walls around our hearts? Or is liberation about realizing that the bricks and the bricklayer are the same? Are you guys ready to do some alchemy? Yeah, me too. Okay, thank you. I'll take your accolades. You know I love it. But I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you ready to do some alchemy? All right, if you are a first-time alchemist, the alchemy portion of the show is when you are invited to go within and get that hands-on healing that only you can give yourself when working directly with a higher power. So once again, I'm going to ask you to uncross your body, to close your eyes, and to breathe. And I want you to know, if you have no experience with guided meditations, that there is no difference between manifestation and imagination. So allow your brain to show you things. Allow my words to guide you on a journey, and know that this isn't just cartoons or silly entertainment you are watching, but actual energy work that you, the alchemist, are doing. Tyler Stafford, play me something liberating, baby. There it is. All right, close your eyes. I want you to imagine, if you can, that you are sitting exactly where you are sitting right now. I'm not sending you off to a field, an empty field somewhere, top of a mountain, a pyramid. No, you are imagining exactly what is happening right now. I want you to feel the chair beneath you and feel the earth holding your chair up. You are pushing down on the earth, and the earth is pushing back on you. I want you to begin taking really deep breaths. And with every exhale, your chair begins to sink into the earth. And as you sink lower and lower, deeper into the earth, you see that you are falling down a well. But you're not afraid, because it's happening with your breath. The bricks around you have color, they have temperature, it's damp, emotion is damp. We come from dampness. The water is our protector. And with each breath, you fall until you reach the bottom of your well. You look around at the bricks on the wall, and you see a mix of things. You see symbols, pictures, words that represent traumas, wounds, fears, relationships, habits, things that your higher self, your soul, was destined to become aware of and then heal in this lifetime. Specifically, you ask Spirit to show you a cycle that you are done with, that you want to be done with, that you are seeking ending and liberation from, a cycle you are seeking liberation from. Just observe. I want you to put your hand on the bricks. I want you to feel their realness. Our wounds weigh in us like a brick in a wall. And when we're not made conscious, they act like magnets, attracting to us situations that trigger so that we can know they're there. But if we get lost in the trigger, we are doomed to cycle. looking around at all the bricks on the wall, I want you to let your hands stop on one particular brick. And I want you to see what it says. A word, a philosophy. Something that maybe makes sense to you, something that maybe makes no sense. It's not for you to know right now, just observe. Take a snapshot of that word, that symbol, that knowing, the thing that you are seeking liberation from, the person, the relationship, the habit. Hold on to it and enjoy the rest of this ride.
And all of the days that I sit around and struggle seem to vanish in the blink of an eye. I reject change as if it were an offer. I don't wanna leave these feelings behind, but I'll walk away and cut away the anchor. Watch the ship dance alone in the night, then blow me away. The story about a wanderer who made it through life just fine, just fine, just fine. 'Cause the world won't bring me down. The world won't slow me down. The world won't bring me down. Don't tell me to wait, 'cause I'm not a patient person, although it's something I've been working on. And maybe today I'll realize in my own life what it is that's really going wrong. I'll open my eyes and I'll see that sun around the mountains, and it calms my troubled mind. You know it's okay, I believe life will change me, and everything will be just fine, just fine, just fine. 'Cause the world won't bring me down. The world won't slow me down. The world won't bring me down. Times like this that make me miss home, and it's times like these when everything is going wrong that I think I drive myself crazy. It's times like this when I'm looking around, when I'm not looking up, my eyes are locked on the ground, that I know love won't let me let myself down. I know love won't let me let myself down. Well, I know love won't let me let myself down, 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 down. No, da 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 da, da da da, la. La da 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 da. La da 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 da.
Yeah. How you guys feeling? Yeah. Oh man, it got warm and gooey in here. You are powerful. Some real healings just happened. Man, when's the last time you took 7 minutes to just be in your imagination? It's like Tyler's song was meant for that moment. Oh, it was so good. Again, you can buy that on the album in the lobby. We have a treat for you today, brothers and sisters. Of course, our artist, Matthew McDowell, he does a live art installation every month. And this month, this is it. You're looking at it right here. We have a treat for you. In that meditation, God spoke a word, a symbol, a person, a thing, something on your heart. During this song, you're going to come up, one at a time. You're going to pick a brick up. You're going to sit with it. You can put it on the ground for the rest of the show. Then later when you go home, you have some privacy, you're gonna write a word, a symbol, whatever Spirit showed you, an entire diary entry on your brick. And then, in the most earth-friendly way possible, you're gonna break it. You're gonna break your brick. And if you're a social media junkie like we are, you're gonna take video of you breaking it or a photo of the broken brick, and you're gonna post it for us because we wanna see the work that you've done. There's an example photo here coming up. There you go. You can post a photo of your broken brick. Hashtag Alchemist Movement. Tag us in it. Maybe you can win something cool, but really we just want to know what the art did after you left. So come on up one at a time. Grab a brick. This is not Jenga. So please do not pick from the middle of the wall. It's not about picking the brick that calls to you. It's just about picking a brick, yo.
Ooh, there's a fine line. Ooh, there's a fine line between love and hate. You see, came way too late, but baby, I want it. Oh, can't worry about
You can take more than one. If you feel like you need more than one brick, you can take more than one.
I want it. Can't worry about what another sister thinks. You see, that's liberation, and baby, I want it. Oh, let me hear it. I have a choice to be who I want to be. It's left up to me. My mama, she told me. Oh, yes, she did. Oh, I'm so tired. It's been so long. Struggling hopelessly 7 and 40 days. Ooh. Oh, I sacrifice every breath I breathe to make you believe. I'd give my life away. Oh Lord, I'm so tired of feeling like I walk most of the road. Oh my Lord. Is there anything I can say to help you find a way? Touch your soul, make you whole. All the same for you and I. There's not a minute that goes by that I don't believe.
Everybody
we
get their
can
brick.
fly, but I can feel it in the wind. No, the beginning of the end. So people keep it in the sky. People keep it in the sky. People
space to create. The soul of art portrays a common fate. To be free, live, love, and learn through mistakes. Liberate me from my fear of mistakes. A fear of future shame I just can't shake. I don't want to be all aloof like nothing's wrong, so I go within and get burned to this poem. The world goes round on solicitation, so bring it back to love and participation. Society paralyzed the mind endlessly with illusions of a dream I just can't see. So I ride my bike and drop out the rat race. Free me from compression of time and space. Little by little the layers strip away. Errands, working bills, a world of dismay. And what about the heavy pressure to be of unemotional masculinity? What about the heavy pressure to be? Does this mean I can't live openly? So I just keep riding, I just keep moving along the winding road of truth I'm moving. I just keep riding, I just keep moving along the winding road to Zion I'm moving. I wanna lay it bare, this identity, so I can live matter of fact and free. Self-love is the drug to free the mind from the drug of doubt that causes us to hide. Self-love is the drug to free your brethren. Shake off the lies, find liberation.
Can't worry about what a brother think. You see, that's liberation, and baby, I want it. Oh, can't worry about what another sister think. Now that's liberation, and baby, I want it. Oh, there's not a minute that goes by that I don't believe we can fly. Oh, I can feel it. I can feel it in the wind. Ooh, the beginning or the end. So people keep your head in the sky. So people keep your head in the sky. So people keep your head in the sky. Oh, so people keep your head in the sky. Oh, so people keep your head in the sky.
The brick and the bricklayer are one.
Keep your head in the sky. Keep your head in the sky. The sky.
Give it up for Rachel and Joe. The brick and the bricklayer are one. Just remember that. Thank you for joining us in this art project today. I don't think you have any idea of what direction we're about to head in. Especially if you're a first timer. You're like, okay, we're 40 minutes in. I think I understand what these guys are doing. You have no idea.
Welcome. Life can be a drag, so let's have a ball.
of you. Oh, take it all in, ladies and gentlemen. What? How y'all doing this evening? Now I have a question for all of you out there. Whose first time is it in a church? Anybody? Because it's my first time in a church. Yes! Now, seeing as this is a church and, well, Alchemist Theatre is an all-ages show, I'm going to do my best to keep this family-friendly. But you see, I'm used to working the rooms at gay bars at 1 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night, and things are a little different. I do miss them. Not the 1 a.m. part, because my bedtime is hell early nowadays. But I miss gay bars. In a gay bar, you could be anyone that you wanted to be. You could create a new identity every single night and live it out under the lights of a tacky disco ball or on a stripper pole. You could be anyone that you wanted to be. But you know, gay bars are a thing of the past now. They're dying. Part of this new gentrified existence, there's a belief that LGBTQ individuals do not need gay bars anymore, and that with legislation that is currently being passed, that there's no longer a need to fear the world that they walk through. But I think we can look at current circumstances as well as a long history of this world and understand that legislation does not change the hearts of those that those laws seek to govern. You know, it's really unfortunate when individuals' hearts are so overwhelmed by fear, by hatred for another individual for simply discovering their joy and expressing their God-given divinity. It breaks my heart. Because sometimes when someone is in so much pain, the only thing that they can think to do is snuff out the light of another individual. I miss gay bars. They were a safe space, if such a thing ever existed. But look at me, I'm getting all wistful and we're only a few minutes in. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we need to have a little chit-chat. We need to get a few things clear before I get started. We need to find some common ground. Now, I am not Christopher Daniels. I am not Reverend Divine. I am Ginger Divine, the OG, that's original ginger. And I am a drag queen. Thank you. Oh, God bless. Now, you might be wondering what a drag queen is, and you might be wondering why I'm making such a painstaking effort to draw a distinction. Now, before you start squirming uncomfortably in your seat believing that we're currently filming the sequel to M. Night Shyamalan's Split, or to Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, y'all need to hear me out. So, funny story. One of my friends asked me one time how I keep all my identities straight. Oh, honey, nothing in my life has ever been straight.
I know, girl.
Now, you might be accusing me of having an identity crisis, and you're probably right. But the thing is, I think I'm in very good company because it seems as a society and as a world, we're all suffering from an egregious identity crisis. It seems like we are trying to reconcile the dissonance between who you are and how you act, who you see yourself as and who you aspire to be, how others see you and how you allow those judgments and perceptions to inform your life. I am a drag queen. I exude exuberance. I am the goddess, I am the divine feminine that resides within this physical shell. And what a magnificent physical shell it is. Now, it's kind of surprising that more, and God bless Center for Spiritual Living, because it's kind of surprising that more churches aren't clamoring to have drag queens speak at them. And it's kind of a little shocking because gender variant folks have held such an exalted place in many religions and cultures throughout history. And why is that? Because we're spiritually bisexual. We have an intimate connection with the masculine and feminine energies that govern this dear universe. And we flow between them. Now, I have a belief, you probably won't hold it, but I have a belief that drag queens are God's sacred messengers on this earth. And Chris retired me, so I got a lot to say. I have been in a closet for 3 years. But when all of a sudden God parts the clouds and he shines a light and tells you to take your wig off the shelf, don your best hooker heels and go to church.
Oh my God.
You don't question the good Lord, you just do. You don't question, you just do. Now, as I said, drag queens are God's sacred messengers on this earth, and God, oh, hey girl! Oh, God has a very important message for all of us this evening, but that's for the climax. And Mama needs a little bit of foreplay. Now, I want to share something with you all. I'm going to sit down for this. Let's see if I can do this like a lady. Yes. Do you like that? Now, I want to share with you all that I have never felt more free than the day that I dressed as a woman. Now, you might find that kind of shocking, especially if you've ever had the misfortune of donning the medieval torture devices known as women's clothing. Y'all, I'm rocking Spanx, 2 pairs of control top pantyhose, and a annoyingly itchy form-fitting sequin dress. And I can barely breathe. So if I pass out, that is not part of the show. Please cut me out of this and free me. I have never been more free than the first day that I wore women's clothing. Now, that might come to you as a shock, especially in this society, when the subjugation of women seems to be a pervasive thing that we currently find ourselves in and has a long history of it. Now, it's not everyone's history, but it's certainly a facet of this country where women's efficacy around such areas of their life as their bodies, their work, their lives, their children, their relationships are routinely discussed by men in private rooms that have all one thing in common: the absence of women. I never felt more free than the first day that I dressed up as a woman. Picture it, y'all. Detroit, 1993. I was in the 3rd grade. And like most acts of spontaneous rebellion, it started small. One day I decided that in order to endure the grueling task of running laps in physical education, that I would wear lipstick and pretend that I was a pretty princess. So one day, everyone was lining up, but I stayed behind at my desk, and I donned the most succulent of shades of red lipstick known as Crayola. And I made my way to the front, and I was just about to cross over the threshold of the classroom and the freedom of gym, something I never thought that I would ever say in my entire lifetime, gym as a source of freedom, but I was almost there, and then my teacher stopped me. Apparently, I didn't understand the word I'm looking for, how to color in the lines. Because she noticed my lips, and she stopped me. Now, God bless her heart. What is someone to do in such a situation? Especially 1993 in Detroit, you find a 3rd grader that has red marker all over his lips. You, of course, make fun of the child. Of course, you mock them. Of course, you point it out to all the other little children. And she even had the audacity to ask me if I ate a marker. Homegirl, you better check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? Because I am not stupid. And at that present time, I was not hungry. I am a pretty, pretty princess. And you will let me pass. Now, when she had had her fun, she sent me to the bathroom to wash away the indiscretion of my crime. And when I emerged looking more like a tear-stained clown than I did as a pretty princess, something was born within me that day. Now, the kids at school tried to beat it out of me, and society tried to shame it out of me, but once it came out, it would not be hidden again, and I, ladies and gentlemen, was born. Thank you. Now, if you would have asked Chris if he was going to become a drag queen in his life, a professional one at that, he would have told you no. How could he ever know such a thing? It's not like guidance counselors in high schools are handing out pamphlets saying, so you think you want to be a drag queen? Could you imagine what that session would look like? Well, Chris, it appears from your aptitude assessment test that your preferred professional passion is drag queenery. So, here are some classes that we think you would be interested in. Iconic 90s pop princesses, Makeup 204, shading and contouring, discovering and empowering your inner queen, and Tucking 101. Oh, we are just so excited for you. Oh, we just can't wait to see what you accomplish. That would have been great. Oh man, that would have saved so much soul searching. And also those awkward and unfortunate things while being in college and asking my female friends for their clothes and asking them how to do makeup. Now, if you would have asked Chris if he was gonna be a drag queen, he would have laughed at you. But if you would have asked anybody else in his immediate circle, they would have told you, oh yeah, that big old queen's gonna do drag one day. But Chris listened to the still, small voice inside of his head. And that voice whispered on his heart, "Yas, queen. Yas, queen." Now, I never felt more free than the first time that I dressed up as a woman. And you may be wondering why. Because it defied societal norms and conventions. See, no one has any expectations of a drag queen. Well, that's not true. They generally think that we're gonna throw a bunch of shade and say a bunch of like killer catchphrases like, "Ooh, girl, that outfit is sickening." "Ooh, honey, it's time for you to sashay away." Or, my personal favorite, "Ooh, girl, 5 G's, please. Good guy, get a grip, girl." But in our world, there is an ongoing parade of people that are all too happy to line up in front of you and tell you how you should live your own damn life. There are plenty of people that will tell you that chasing your dreams is an unrealistic aspiration and you should just give up and get more serious. There are plenty of people that will tell you that you're not good enough, smart enough, pretty enough, wanted enough, whatever it might be, that you just want to sit into a hole, a well, and die. Now, when fear enters into our world, there's one or two reactions that you might have. One is you might lash out and attack. The other is that you might defend and hide. And honey, baby child, let me tell you, Chris is a runner, which is ironic because he never runs except to save his life. And boy, did that child run. He ran so far and for so long because he was afraid of making a mistake. He was afraid of being this thing inside of himself that he knew was wrong. Even in the 3rd grade, he barely understood long division, but something inside of him told him some semblance of who he was. And when he put on that lipstick, it ignited a fire within him. But people want to tell you that who you are is wrong. They want to shape you, they want to control you, and they will take away their love from you if you do not prescribe to the life that they have in store for you. So Chris, so fearful that individuals would pull their love from him and so desperately to feel that emptiness inside of himself that he conformed to fit everybody else's wish and desire. And he did that for so long that when he came up for air, he barely knew himself. He couldn't tell you what he wanted in this life. He couldn't tell you if an action or a decision that he made was motivated by a desire to please others or for his own intrinsic joy. That child had wounds, still has wounds. And he's working on them. He ain't perfect. I mean, he is a perfect child of the Lord. But his humanness interferes with that knowing from time to time, and he does make mistakes. And that's why he sends me. Cha-cha. You see, I don't have Chris's emotional hang-ups. I am not crippled by his fears and by his insecurities. I am his knight in sequin corset, riding out to battle. Because, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, when he mighty morphin power queens himself into me, he can finally let go. He can let go. The heaviness that weighs on his mind and his heart, almost like a shroud that keeps him encased where he is, becomes unshackled, and I fling it off. I am Christopher Daniels' personal avatar. He can dress me up however he needs me to be. I can be whatever he feels like he cannot be in that moment. I am his higher self in true physical form. And I am here to remind Chris of his truth. And maybe by sharing and reminding that boy about the truth, maybe you'll be reminded of the truth as well. Now, you might find that kind of a little interesting that a drag queen is talking about truth, because isn't my whole nature based upon a lie? Isn't who I am some sort of facade? Do I not wear this makeup and this wig to conceal the person within? That's funny, because Chris wore makeup of tears and blood and sweat and pain and wounds his whole life. I just took that makeup, transmuted it, and created a foundation. You may believe that my entire entity is one of trickery. And let me just assure you, that's just because my feminine wilds right now are confusing you, and you are falling desperately in love with me. There we go. And it's making you question everything about yourself. Congratulations. Now, my patron saint, the iconic one, Miss RuPaul, shares with us these words of wisdom. We are all born naked, and all the rest is just drag. So congratulations, my brothers and sisters, you's all in drag. The only question that I have for you is, what are you dressing up as? We are all in drag. In fact, we are God in drag. And if we are all born naked, perfect incarnations and expressions of God on this planet, how are you painting the divinity that resides within? Is your outward appearance a reflection of that holiness? Or is it a representation of the repression of guilt, shame, and self-loathing that you've created and made a prison for yourself? Are you a king or a queen? We say that the kingdom of heaven is here. The kingdom of heaven resides within us. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Who rules kingdoms? Kings, queens. We are a product of our heavenly Father, the King of all kings, and our earthly mother, the badass queen of all queens, which means we are royalty, so start acting like it. Are you walking around this playground of earth as a king or a queen, or are you believing the lies that you are a pauper encased in a tomb of spiritual poverty? Are you a king or a queen? And if we are God masquerading around in human form, I say, let's have a ball. Because this life is a serpentine dance of bobs and weaves and lifts and turns and plot twists. And if we are here to have fun, to enjoy this life, to express our inner happiness, then why are you raining on your own damn promenade? Drag queens are sacred messengers sent by God. And the message that God has for Chris, and maybe for some of you in this audience, is that we need to lighten the F up. That we need to stop taking things so seriously. That was an unintended consequence when that child decided to retire me. And of course, his take on it is that he retired me because he was tired of shaving and spending all of his money on press-on nails and fake eyelashes. But the truth that maybe he didn't want to admit at the time is that he hid behind me, and he felt that he needed to stand on his own 2 feet, and that he needed to be a little bit more serious. And so, ask and you shall receive, child. Everything became serious. And before he knew it, he was so down a hole of seriousness that he forgot what the taste of joy felt like. He forgot what made him happy. He forgot to be outrageous. Well, compared to me, honey, it's a dull shade of outrage. Now, I don't want you to misconstrue my statement as being trite when I tell you that we need to lighten the F up. I don't want you to believe that I make this statement not recognizing the ills of this world. Drag queens have always held a coveted space in society of speaking and railing against the systems and institutions of prejudice that would serve to subjugate and oppress individuals. They did it through parodies, they did it through satire, they did it through humor. They would stand on a stage for all to see, to be judged, and give 0 F's about it, because they were here to let you know that you are not alone. They were here to tell you that it is okay to be exactly who you are. Let your freak flag fly, ladies and gentlemen. And I get it. The world is in a mess right now. Global annihilation seems ever closer, and it seems to be apparently a punchline to jokes. It seems that this magnificent planet has all the resources necessary to feed, clothe, house, and care for all of her beautiful children. But unfortunately, we have distribution problems, and the health and wealth disparities, especially in marginalized populations, is disgusting. And we are all walking around in drag, caking on our wounds, our pain, and we pray to God that we can make it through another day. And we pray that people do not see us, although secretly wishing in our hearts that they would extend a helping hand to pull us through our personal hell when we do not have the courage to do it ourselves. We are walking around in drag. Now, fear is such a pervasive force in this society. And fear is an interesting creature. Fear likes to tell a story. Fear wants to convince you that you will never escape from the prison that you currently find yourself in. So why bother trying? Fear tells a global story. And if you buy into the global story of fear, you would be cowering underneath the table of your house, afraid to go outside and afraid to ever interact with another individual because, of course, they are your enemy. And they are out to do you harm. Fear tells these stories, but fear only wins when we entertain it. And that is why Chris has sent me here this evening, because I don't entertain that stuff. Family-friendly show. Family-friendly show. So what story are you going to tell? Are you going to become bogged down by the minutia of your humanness? Are you going to sit back and put on the record player that plays the same old tired tale? The one that cycles you in a prison of stagnation and stuckness that you believe that you will never get out of? Or are you going to write a different story? Do you wake up every morning chained to a rock that says one day, and like our dear friend Sisyphus, you push that damn rock up your hill, and just when you think it's about to get to the top, it rolls back down to the ground, and you sit down and you cry and you just want to give up? And I'm here to tell you, please don't give up. Please. I cannot tell you how heartbreaking it is when we turn on the news to find our dear brothers and sisters who have decided to give up. So don't give up. But what are we to do to liberate ourselves from these prisons that we have built for ourselves? What do we do when we've given ourselves a life sentence? You write another story, and you create another character. You create your own personal avatar. So my question for you, ladies and gentlemen, are you a king? Are you a queen? Who are you? My name is Ginger Divine, and I am a drag queen. Ginger meaning blood, the life force that circulates through all things. Red, an exuberant color that exudes maximum vibrancy. Divine, my last name, with an E, not an I, to remember that my mission here is pure heavenly expression. And when you put those two things together, my friends, you get my soul's purpose, and that is divine love. I am here to teach people how to laugh again. I am here to teach people to hold a reverence in the highest regard and not take themselves so damn seriously. I am here to encourage your outrageousness, your fabulousness, the parts of you that you are afraid to express because you're worried how other individuals are going to say, think, you know what? You don't need them. You don't need them. But I'm not going to tell you what to do. I am going to say that you have to live it to be it. So you need to make that decision. God supports action. So whatever you decide, I want you to leave this room knowing one thing, that I love you regardless of what you decide to do, because I see you. I see you. And God loves you. Whether you believe believe in that higher power or not, that's the funny thing about God. God don't need you to believe in it to love you. That is the purity of unconditional love. And I want you to carry that love with you wherever you decide to go in this life. It is important if you leave here tonight knowing nothing else. Oh. Damn. You know, it's funny, minor story before I get to the really big punch at the end. Our stage manager, Kathy, God bless her soul, was like, Ginger, I need you to go on that stage in your heels and I need you to walk around because there's bricks and you might trip. And I'm like, Kathy, I am a professional. But okay, I mean, I'll do it because I love you. That was for you, Kathy. So before you leave here tonight, I want you to know that you're loved. It's very important to know that you're loved. To not take this thing called life so seriously. And for you to make it your life's purpose to find your joy, your exuberance. That part of you that dazzles and sparkles like the stars in the sky. I want that for you. But again, you know, free will, like you can decide what you want to do. And remember, if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love anybody else? Can I get an amen? Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I need some help to wrap this mother up. So I need you right now to get up out of your seats. Come on, get up off of your seats. Come on, get off of your seats. That's right, I'm moving all the way to the back of the room. All right, I want you to feel the spiritual that has come through this room. I want you to put your hands together. And I want you to unshackle yourself from your personal prison. And I want you to find your freedom.
Well, I won't let you down. I will not give you up. And to have some faith in the sound, it's the one good thing that I got. I won't let you down. So please don't give me up. 'Cause I would really, really love to stick around. Well, heaven knows I was just a young boy. I didn't know what I wanted to be.
Didn't know what I wanted to be.
Well, I was every little hungry schoolgirl's pride and joy. I guess it was enough for me.
I said, I guess it was enough for me.
To win the race, a pretty face, brand new clothes, and a big fat place on your rock and roll TV.
Oh, yeah.
But today the way I play the game is not the same. No way. I think I'm gonna get myself happy. I think there's something you should know.
I think it's time I told you so.
There's something deep inside of me.
There's someone else I got to be.
Take back your picture in a frame.
Take back your singing in the rain.
I just hope you understand.
Sometimes the clothes do not make the man.
All we have to do now is take these lies and make them true somehow. All we have to see is that I don't belong to you and you don't belong to me. Yeah, freedom. I won't let you down. Freedom. Please don't give me up. Freedom. So have some faith in the sound. It's the one good thing that I got. I won't let you down. So please don't give me up. 'Cause I just a buddy and me. What if you were just a buddy and me? We had every big shot, good time, band on the run, boy. We were living in a fantasy. We were living in a fantasy. Well, we won the race, got out of the place. We went back home, got a brand new face for the boys at MTV. Oh, yeah. But today the way I play the game has got to change, oh yeah. I think I'm gonna get myself happy. I think there's something you should know.
I think it's time I stop the show.
There's something deep inside of me.
There's someone I forgot to be.
Take back your picture in a frame.
Don't think that I'll be back again.
I just hope you understand. Sometimes the cold do not make the man. All we have to do now is take these lies and make them true somehow. All we have to see is that I don't belong to you and you don't belong to me. Yeah, freedom, I won't let you down. I will not give you up. Gotta have some faith inside. It's the one good thing that I got. I won't let you down. So please don't give me up. 'Cause I wouldn't really let you love. Stick around.
Thank you so much for coming out
We love you all so very much.
I won't let you down. I will not give you up. And to have some faith
You've got to
inside.
give for what you
It's the one good thing that I got. I won't let you down. So please don't give me up. You got to give for what you take. Freedom. 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 You gotta give for what you take.